Leto, or Summer, is the new film by famous contemporary Russian director Kirill Serebrennikov, who is currently under house arrest in Russia. Leto is about the 1980s rock movement in Russia, and particularly, the film focuses on musicians Viktor Tsoi from the band Kino and Mike Naumenko from the band Zoopark, as well as about Mike's wife Natasha and her romantic affair with Viktor Tsoi. The picture stars Roma Zver, Irina Starshenbaum, and Teo Yu. Overall, Leto was a good film, and particularly really interesting as it shows the Soviet reality of the time and how rock musicians had to fight for their music in this communist country. It was also really interesting to see how this group of Russian rock musicians had access to all this foreign music through the black market, which most of the general Russian public at the time didn't have access to yet. The most talked about foreign musicians in this film were Lou Reed and Mark Bolan. The film is nicely shot in black and white photography, which fittingly represents the shadowy and gloomy and dark times of Soviet Russia. Leto's ultra-widescreen format is redundant, as Kirill Serebrennikov doesn't make use of this format, and the film honestly would have been fine on 16:9 widescreen, and it didn't need that huge widescreen gimmick. Serebrennikov also represents moments of happiness and dreams and joy in communist Russia by using this strange animation popping up at certain parts of the frame, and I personally didn't like it. I thought it just made the film look kind of like a music video, and what would have been better in my opinion was just to have those dreamy and happy scenes in color instead of adding this music video animation to the film. And in my personal opinion, the surrealist element of the film, especially there's a part where this guy jumps through a film being projected onto the wall and he magically appeared within the movie, didn't really need that. The film would have been just as good without that. Leto overall is a good film, but it could have been a bit more interesting because it just felt a little hollow. Maybe it would have benefited from some more songs performed by Viktor Tsoi or by Mike. It just needed something more, I felt. Just something to make the film a little more interesting. However, there are two great moments in Leto. One, which is a sort of montage of ordinary Soviet people in a bus, suddenly singing in English the lyrics to Iggy Pop's Passengers song. And that was a really, really cool and dreamy, exciting moment. And also the moment when we see Mike Naumenko performing his guitar solo during Viktor Tsoi's Beatnik song live on stage. That was a really, really great moment. Leto, shot digitally, would have really benefited from being shot on film to add that vintage feel to this 80s setting movie. So Leto overall is a good film. The best thing about it for me really was just to find out what the Russian rock movement of the 1980s was like. However, it also has some really good musical moments. Leto also has two amusing cameos of famous Russian actresses Yelena Koroneva and Leah Ahijakova. Leto is not the best musical film. Almost Famous or Spinal Tap are much better, but Leto is just an overall good and very interesting film. Thank you for watching, and see you next Friday.